Hello to the very few of you that will be watching this video review on Motor Illustrated's humble YouTube channel. As you can see in the caption and before you, this is a 2023 still Mercedes-Benz EQE 4MATIC SUV. Now, over the last year, in fact, I've driven a number of Mercedes-Benz's EVs, and it started out in the worst possible way. Yeah, I tried the EQS 4MATIC sedan, and in short, I just disliked it on almost every conceivable level except for performance itself. The EQS SUV became available and on the press fleet, and I just couldn't be bothered with reviewing it because the sedan had let me down so much. I didn't want to go through that whole process again. Then I got to drive the EQB, and I'm a huge fan of the GLB itself, and the EQB was fantastic with only some minor flaws such as range and price, just minor flaws. But then I got the EQE 4MATIC sedan, and I really liked it with, other issues such as styling. So when the EQE 4MATIC SUV became available on the press fleet, I just had to book it. Because let's be honest, I'll try and elaborate a little bit more on it in the following video. It's not as ugly as the sedans, thankfully, and it retains all the good stuff that I liked about the sedan. So effectively, I can tell you now that this is probably the mid-size and larger electric Mercedes-Benz you probably want to consider. I don't know about going with polar white again, but because there's a number of interesting colors, a handful. Well, actually, not much, but point is that it's still aesthetically more pleasing, and it delivers on almost every conceivable front. You might get a glimpse of the weather conditions right now. Today is a beautiful day. Strangely, this is why we call it a climate crisis, because we are mid-December. But it's still mid-December, therefore it's been cold and range has been affected, as you might expect. Anyhow, I don't want to front load too much of this video review of this 2023 EQE SUV 4MATIC, or is that EQE 4MATIC SUV? I forget. Point is, please hang in there. I'm not selling this video very well at the moment, but maybe you'll find out something about this electric SUV. So please hang in there. Alrighty then, so styling wise, I mean, the simple thing is that, well, because of the extended roof line, which is also taller, it just doesn't look like a squashed egg that's been stretched somehow over its haunches and over the front and rear ends. It's no wagon, unfortunately, but it is still far more attractive than both the sedans. In fact, if you want an idea, it's about 4.9 meters long overall, and the wheelbase is just over 3 meters long, which is kind of insane. It's huge, but it's small at the same time. It's very, as we say in French, trompe-l'œil. So yeah, this is an EQE 500 and not the 350, which is the base model. Might as well just go right into pricing at this point. In the US, the base single motor version, $77,900 for the 350, and it reaches all the way up to $109,300 for the recently introduced AMG version. In Canada, the 350 4MATIC starts at $94,900, and the top trim AMG is $128,900. And this, the 500, starts at $104,900. It's still fairly well kitted. Obviously, it's got the bigger, more powerful engines, electric motor, sorry. It has the standard hyperscreen, which is a 12.3-inch digital IP, 17.7-inch touchscreen display, plus the 12.3-inch passenger side display. It's all there. It's a lot. It's 56 inches overall. MBUX, 20-inch wheels, and so on and so forth. Polar white is the color. I think I mentioned it's okay, but where it kind of falls apart for me, again, the wheels are kind of cool. I love those Aero Blade-ish, which are made out of plastic. Won't cast a shadow on it. Another thing why I think the SUV looks a little bit better is the grille is taller as opposed to being so pinched like on the sedan. So it gives it less of a, I don't know if this is the right word, but less of a muskrat front end look to it. Also, it's dirtier than the sedan, so maybe, you know, the contrast between the black and the white isn't so great. So back to my tester. This one right here also includes the Pinnacle trim package. Heads-up display, 4-zone climate control, whole bunch of active safety features. So essentially what you're looking at here is 115,000 Canadian dollars for this EV. I mean, power hatch, obviously, I'll just go on in, Volkswagen. I just have to. 520 liters, according to Benz with the seat down, it's 1675 liters, I think. It's actually fairly decent. In my mind, it looks like a lot more than 500 and change liters of volume. There is some space under here. There's your level 1 charger cable, but very usable. Contrary to the sedan, I think you could fit at least 2 golf bags in here, which is the reason why you would buy the SUV, of course, right? But like the sedan too, there's a ton of space back here, obviously. Flat middle floor. The seats are very comfortable. The leather is gorgeous. Kids have plenty of room, plenty of stuff, plenty of buttons to play with. That's part of the 4-zone climate control system. I think that's about it. I mean, it's just classic. Yeah, that's still there, right? For your washer fluid, which is, I won't say anything else. Fit finish, Benz, 64 different levels of ambient lighting. My daughter loves the pink, so it's always on pink. Very comfortable seats, power lumbar, quite nice memory seatings. Oh yeah, settings. I'll mention this now. So the steering wheel is heated, but there's no individual control for it. It's directly connected to the heated seats. So you can't have a heated steering wheel, which is always nice in Canada, without having the heated seats, which is, blows my mind, doesn't make any sense. Anyhow, oh well, here's a good shot, I think maybe. Yeah, oh, that's a lot of screen. And you can see the reflection. That is just, it's terrible. It looks great, but it's terrible at the same time. Now let's start it up. There we go. Yeah. Greetings. Yes, okay. Turn the radio off. I guess there's, you get an idea of what's before you. I mean, the screen is just enormous. And here's one of the cool and unfortunate things. My seat, I sit very close to the seat, to the steering wheel. So I have to lift my shoulder off the seat back to reach the extreme edges of the screen. But otherwise, like I said, pink. Otherwise, everything else is just brilliant. I love the shortcut for the EQ, right? For charging and range and all of that. It's very straightforward too. And when Apple CarPlay is connected, which I always do cable, by the way, it's just that much more reliable. It shows up right here, so it's a beautiful, very quick shortcut. HVAC controls are nice here. There's your 12.3-inch display, which is, how about that? I want more active safety control features. The menus can change here a little bit depending on what you're doing, what you're up to. Drive modes. So you've got these right here: dynamic, eco, comfort. I mean, that pretty much summarizes everything. I've been in comfort almost exclusively because this one, though it does have an adjustable suspension, does not have the air suspension with the adaptive dampers. So comfort is doing exactly everything I want it to do. And I think about the inside, and fit finish is glorious. I mean, you can't see, look at the reflection. So imagine that while you're driving and the trees are just, or the clouds, or the fences, or the buildings. Visibility is actually not that bad. The screen is well integrated, obviously. Well, the whole dashboard is a screen. And despite the fact that the A-pillars are massive, you got this great opening down here. And you know what? I think that's it. Let's drive. Love the column shifter. Always a comment about shifters. What I forgot to mention, part of the equipment, well, I'll mention it now, so it's relevant, is the fact that this has 4-wheel steering. So the rear wheels can turn up to 10 degrees, which is, it's the type of thing that once you get used to, when you get back into your other vehicle or regular vehicle, makes even, I don't know, Mitsubishi Mirage feel huge when you're turning around the corner or trying to squeeze into a tight spot in your favorite shopping mall parking lot. It's on the subject of steering. I mean, it's fine. There's good weight behind it. The assistance is very progressive. There's nothing shocking or out of line with it. It's pleasant would be the best way to describe it. What is still slightly unpleasant, even now, my third or fourth experience with these vehicles, is the regen braking. So as I noted in the past, and what is unusual with the Benzes, is that the physical pedal moves when the regen braking kicks in. On that subject, you have 4 settings, right? You have intelligent recuperation, you have no recuperation, you have normal, and then you have strong. So I've been driving in normal exclusively almost, except when I'm driving around in the city. I love the one pedal braking. I didn't show you. You can actually activate or deactivate creep. So you will get one pedal driving, or you will get, your typical sensation or forward creep with an automatic transmission in a petrol powered car. Love the fact that that is optional. I mean, in my books, you just leave it on all the time and you just play with the paddles to control the amount of brake regen you want. I just moved up because I just tapped the throttle as opposed to just let it coast in strong recuperation. The pedal that moves is a little bit weird. It seems like such an unnecessary thing to experience as a driver. But that's it. So it does have adjustable dampers, so comfort, sport, and all that. Ride quality and comfort is perfect, even with the 20-inch wheels. Just overall ride quality is very, very nice. I have nothing negative to report as far as that's concerned. The same goes with the power. So in the 350 you have, I should remember it. I think it's 288 horsepower, which can boost up to 328 or 348. But in the 500 you get 402 in combined, obviously, and up to 633 pound-feet of torque. But this thing isn't exactly a lightweight. It weighs 5,300 pounds, which means that despite all that power, the 0 to 100 kilometer an hour time is of 4.9 seconds. Well, memory blank. 4.9 seconds. Okay, that's really, really quick. But I mean, if you step out of, I don't know, what was the last EV I drove? I can't even remember. Oh, yeah, it was a Mustang GT, Mach-E GT. That's just insanely fast. But suffice it to say, merging on the highway is not an issue with this thing. And it will tow up to 1,600 kilograms, which is 3,500 pounds, which is kind of interesting. Not that you would, but you could. Range. So it's a 90.6 kilowatt hour battery. Range is at an estimated 433 kilometers. So what I was hinting at is that it's cold outside, and we did have a little bit of snow earlier on in the week. The biggest, longest indicated range I saw on the display after an overnight charge to 100% on my home level 2 charger, it was 343 kilometers, if memory serves. Anyway, it was under 350. And with my driving the way, let's just go back into there we go. But with my driving, I'm wrong. I'm going to do this the right way. It wasn't 343. It was 343. I'm not wrong. No, it was 343. I guess because it's a lot milder now. That's why. Because now I'm at 312 with 73% charge. So it's a lot milder. The heater is not on. Everything is very chillaxed. Okay, so back to the regularly scheduled program. Range does take a hit. I mean, when it was a lot colder this weekend, I mean, it would drop by 1% every 3 minutes, and that's in the city or on the highway would be even worse. So maybe realistic range is no more than 325 in winter, which for $105,000 is a little bit, well, not cool. And another thing that isn't exactly cool, but weighs but doesn't really weigh, in as far as evaluating this. It's capable of 170 kilowatts of DC fast charging, which means 10 to 80% state of charge takes 32 minutes. There's nothing innovative about that. There's nothing crazy about that. It's very average, but you know, the Koreans, when the chargers work, can do far better because they can accept, well, twice as much charge effectively when the chargers work, and the cars will agree to take the juice. But yeah, I mean, overall, this is still a really, really nice EV. Much nicer than the EQS. I don't see the point of the EQS other than saying you have an S, but it's an EQ and nobody knows what an EQ is. And you'll have plenty of space in the EQE for certain. And it rides nice and it looks better, the SUV, and the interior is just as classy. Look at that. Unbelievable. Yeah, the reflection from the light outside and the trees and buildings. That's an issue. This is probably going to end up dying at some point because someone somewhere is going to say, you know what, this is really unsafe and extremely distracting. But the technology, again, from Benz for the powertrain and the performance and on paper range is really, really damn good. But I don't think I would get an early generation Benz EV. Well, very, very few early generation EVs for that matter. So what I'm trying to say is that this is fine. You lease it for a couple of years and then you throw away the keys or throw the keys back at them and maybe leave with something new. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to end it there. Thank you.